Hello family, Kenneth Celebrity Trainer Coach Johnson here, and this afternoon I'm going to share with you some things that might be causing some things you might be experiencing inside your body. It's a beautiful day here in Florida. Matter of fact, it's a little chilly outside, but still beautiful. The sun's not really out. It's a little windy, but for Florida it's like in the 60s right now, but it's still a great, fantastic day. All right, so a few things. I got a few testimonies from different people who've been using some of the products I've had before in the past, and oftentimes, what I discovered is what I realize is a lot of times when people have like things like arthritis, right, or gout, or migraines, or constipation, or skin issues, or allergies, or things of that nature. Oftentimes, it's because they're missing something in their diet. They're not getting something, or they're getting too much of something. And it compounds the effect. It makes whatever they're going through feel a lot worse. So oftentimes it comes down to what's been eaten, what you're eating on a daily basis, what you're consuming on a daily basis, what you're drinking on a daily basis, or what you're not drinking or not eating on a daily basis. And what happens is, over a period of time, your body starts to miss this stuff, right? It becomes depleted. And as a result of that being depleted, you start developing issues, and you think sometimes, if you're an older person, you think, well, just old age is a part of life, and you try to adapt to it or just simply let's live with it. But in essence, it's not the truth, right? There's a term that was used years ago when a person would die, for example. They would say the person died of natural causes, right? Let's say the person lived for a long period of time, in their 80s or 90s or even 70s, whatever the case is, and, for the course of their life, they've always been pretty healthy. But when they die, they say they listed as dying of natural causes. And what that means on a deeper level is that the body died because of a lack of something, a lack of a mineral, a lack of some type of nutrient, lack of some type of vitamin inside the person's body. And over a period of time, it became less and less and less, and just started, it was depleted, and the person died. Right? And they called it died of natural causes. No heart attacks, no cancer, no illnesses or diseases, just natural causes. That's pretty much what it means. And this happens, it's a long process for that to happen, right? Over a period of time, your body's being depleted of something for a very long period of time, and it gets to a point where now it causes detriment, it causes death. So, I got a few testimonies from a customer of mine. I'm not going to, won't share the name, but her son is a pharmacist, and he recently started taking the Cmos Gel. And, he shared it with his mother. His mother asked him, I think he said his throat was hurting. He wasn't able to talk at one point. So she shared with him what she had been using, which is the Cmos Gel. And I think about 2 days went by, and he reached back out to her and said, you know what? His own words, he said his body was missing something, right? Or he said his body must have been missing something, because he said he feels a whole lot better. And as a result of that, he will continue to take the Cmos Gel. He said, no, he said, ain't no ifs or buts about it. I'm going to keep taking this stuff, because he said his body was missing something. And that's the core of the topic, what I'm talking about today. We go through life, right? Depending on where we're living, what type of foods we're eating on a daily basis. And we consume pretty much the same foods over and over and over again, right? So if there's no variety in your diet, if you're eating a lot of meats, right? A lot of pastas, a lot of breads, for example, those things, then you will eventually start to miss something, right? Growing up on the farm in South Carolina, we had eggs, we had bacon, we had pork, we had beef, all types of stuff. And, that's the typical Southern diet. I grew up on that, and my body was missing something, but I had no idea what it was missing. I didn't know it was missing anything until I knew that I had very bad allergies, right? Food allergies. I knew that I was allergic to peas and beans. I had very bad seasonal allergies, and as an adult, eventually it got to the point where my ankles started hurting, right? I couldn't understand why my ankles hurting, right? I didn't realize that my body was missing something or getting too much of something, and it was causing my body, certain parts of my body which should have been alkaline, right, so to speak, acidic by nature and causing joint pain in my body. So I would wake up in the morning and my ankles would start hurting. Oh my God, my ankles hurt. Why are my ankles hurting? Right? But what I didn't realize is I was missing a lot of minerals. My body was lacking minerals. And that's the most time, that's what causes a lot of people, if they have arthritis, have migraines, have constipation issues, have skin issues, people have cancer, people have high blood pressure, diabetes, you pretty much can name it across the board. The bodies are missing something or getting too much of something that's toxic to the body. So how can you resolve that? Everything can be resolved with the diet. Whatever foods you're eating, you can turn everything around. Pretty much 99% of everything that affects the human body can be reversed or turned around by adding to it the things that are missing, that's missing, and taking away from it the things that are causing that toxicity inside the body. So food is the number one medicine, right? Food is the best medicine there is, right? So getting that testimony from that young guy who was actually, he works in the pharmacy industry. He's a pharmacist, and for him to say that his body was missing something, right, speaks volumes, because he's in the medical field, medical industry, pharmaceutical industry, and apparently what he was using before wasn't working. When he started taking the Cmos Gel, he said, "Wow, apparently his body was missing something, and he's going to continue to take it." So that speaks volumes. So I'm here to talk about the benefits of Cmos Gel, the benefits of adding it to your diet, the benefits of going through a cleanse and a detox, and why that's important, especially right now because the seasons are changing, right? It's getting colder. It's probably already cold in some spots if you're living up north. In Florida, the temperature's starting to drop a little bit, right? So right now, this is one of the most important moments to start to invest in your health. Because let me talk from an African American perspective. Living in Florida, we get a lot of sunlight. There's a lot of sunlight, like a tropical paradise, right? But now, because the seasons are changing, Florida does tend to get a little cold. Not cold like the northern states, but it does get a little cold. So if you're African American, right, light skin, dark skin, whatever the case is, sunlight, right, or a lack of sunlight is going to become an issue, because sunlight helps your body create vitamin D3. And vitamin D3 is very important for you. Vitamin D3 is one of the vitamins, one of the, it's not actually a vitamin, it's a hormone, but vitamin D3 is one of the things that kills viruses. It slows the growth of viruses. It kills viruses, right? It protects you from getting sick. Now, we've all heard that flu season is in the winter times, right? Cold season, winter season comes, they call it flu season. Everybody goes out and gets a flu shot. But what actually happens, what studies have shown, is that during this time of the year, lots of people, millions of people, as a matter of fact, especially African Americans, if you're black, whatever you call yourself, black, African American, there's a high amount of us that have a lack of vitamin D. And that leads to people getting sick. That leads to people getting colds. Leads to people getting the flu, right? Getting other illnesses, respiratory illnesses, because there's a lack of sunlight, right? So right now, what you want to start doing is start supplementing with vitamin D3. Now, vitamin D, there's vitamin D2, vitamin D3, right? These things are great, but the best is vitamin D3, and right now is the time to start. If you haven't already started, you're going to start supplementing with vitamin D3 right now, because once wintertime hits, your body doesn't make any more vitamin D3 in it because there's no sunlight. So right now is the time to start supplementing. Now, that's one of the missing things, especially as an African American man or woman, in our diets, right? Lack of sunlight. If you're not getting it from your foods, right, you're going to set yourself up to easily get sick, catch a cold, or catch the flu. So it shouldn't really be called flu season, but it should be called the lack of vitamin D season, because that's what happens in the wintertime when there's very little sunlight. People's bodies are creating pretty much no vitamin D3, and you're getting sick. So there's different ways to go about doing that by supplementing. Right, that's one thing. Now there's other minerals also, other things in our diets also that are missing that causes illnesses and diseases, right? Skin problems, migraines, constipation, right? You name it across the board. And if you're eating a typical American diet, right, like I did growing up in South Carolina, you got meats, you got dairy, you got poultry, you got eggs and all this stuff, a lot of bread, a lot of pastas, mac and cheese, all this stuff. You're tending to get the same minerals and nutrients over and over again, but you're still lacking some stuff, and very important stuff. And also, when you eat these types of foods, you're eating stuff, you're bringing stuff into your body that you don't really need. Let me share a scientific fact, right? There was a study done a couple years back, and I shared this with several people. Now, this is gonna be an eye opener. It's gonna make you think. There was a study done where they took one person who had the typical American diet, right? He had meat, he had dairy, had eggs, had poultry, all this type of stuff, right? And they took another person who had a plant-based diet, just a plant-based meal. Now I want you to think about this. What they did was they sat them both down at the same table. One ate the typical American diet, packed with meats. One ate the plant-based diet, just pure vegetables and stuff of that nature. So they both sat down and they videotaped this, right? So then after they both finished their meal, they took blood tests. Now, they was both of the same age, two young men, right? No medical issues, no illnesses, no diseases, anything of that nature. Everything checked out, right? And they did before blood tests and did after blood tests. Blood looked pretty much the same, right? Just like blood. After they had the meal, here's what happened. They did another blood test. They took the blood test of the person who ate the meats and did the blood test of the person who had the plant-based foods. Here's what happened. The person who had the meats, when they ran the blood test, their blood came back looking white or cloudy, right? When they did the blood test of the person who had the plant-based meals, their blood came back looking clear, just like the same as before. Here's what they discovered. That the person who had the meat meal, the reason why it was cloudy or white looking is because it had fat in it. It was fatty, like fatty blood, right? So what that meant is that the circulation in that blood was very, very poor, which means the oxygen was harder to get to the tissues, to the cells. The nutrients from the foods was a lot harder to get to the tissues and the cells. And if a person continued to eat that way all day long, right? You got bacon for dinner. Bacon for breakfast. You got some chicken salad for lunch, right? You got some more meat for dinner. Then your blood will stay cloudy like that all day long, which means you're got poor circulation, right? Poor nutrition, poor everything all day long because you never gave it a break. But let's say you had a meal like that, right? You had meat, bacon. Let's say you had meat for, let me just do this right quick. I got a call coming in. Let's say you got bacon for breakfast, right? And you don't have any meat for lunch. You don't have any meat for dinner. It takes several hours for your blood to clear itself of that cloudiness and get back to normal. But if you're eating it all day long, your blood stays cloudy all day long. Now, the person who had the plant-based diet, their blood was clear, which means it had excellent circulation. The nutrients, were able to travel and get to the tissues and the cells in excellent form. There was nothing stopping it, right? And that was a major, major eye-opener, just seeing those two side by side and realizing the impact of what you eat and how it impacts and affects your blood. So if you're experiencing migraines, or you've got constipation issues, or skin issues, or high blood pressure, or diabetic, that's one of the major reasons why, because the foods you're eating, which is dairy or meats or anything at all, your blood is cloudy, right? And it stays that way all day long, and it's leading and causing the issues you're having inside your body right now. Think about that. So the way to rectify that is cutting down on the meats intake, the animal byproducts as much as possible. So your blood can have a chance to clear itself, to purge itself, right? And then you have less migraines. Your blood pressure will start to stabilize, right? Your insulin levels will start to become more normalized. Chronic aches and pains will start to magically disappear, because now you're not constantly bombarding yourself with these foods that causes that issue in the first place. That's an amazing discovery, amazing scientific study that was done, and it's powerful, very, very powerful eye-opener. Now, once you start to cut back on the meats, okay, there's other things you can add to your diet. Like, for example, like I said before, Cmos, right? So the Cmos has 92 minerals. So if you're eating a lot of meats, right, dairy products, fast foods, drinking coffee, might be drinking some alcohol, some stuff like that, your body's being constantly bombarded with inflammation. There's huge amounts of inflammation inside the body. And that can also lead to cancer, right? That's one of the biggest killers of people in the world today, right? And there's so many people right now being diagnosed with cancer and not realizing what's causing it, where it's coming from. There's different issues that can cause it, but one of the major causes of that leads to that is diet, right? You're getting too much of something inside your body and not enough of something else. And here's a fact. Cancer can only grow in an environment that's toxic or where there's no oxygen. There's a lack of oxygen, right? So everybody who has cancer, every single person who has cancer, you can ask any medical doctor, the pH of their blood is acidic, right? Where a healthy person's blood, pH of the blood, will be alkaline, right? That's healthy. Alkaline is just another word for saying oxygen, is oxygenated. Where a person who has cancer, their body's acidic, which means it lacks oxygen. Which also, like I stated before, a lack of oxygen in the blood is the leading cause, the number one cause to kidney disease, to kidney failure, right? So it all comes down to that blood being alkaline or acidic, right? When your blood has enough oxygen in it, you can pretty much kill everything that doesn't belong inside the body. When it lacks oxygen in the blood, you can pretty much catch everything or affect or damage things inside the body that your body should use. So let me talk about this right quick. This is like a missing link, right? So my family and I, we take this every single day for several reasons. But one thing is because it's packed with minerals, right? It has 92 minerals and over 9 vitamins. That's very important. And also has amino acids. Amino acids is just like catalysts to help your body perform a lot better, right? So we've had people take this who had psoriasis, turned it around in 7 days. We had people take this who had migraines for 20 years, right? Lady named Dawn. Dawn had migraines for 20 years, right? Nothing worked. Over-the-counter drugs, nothing worked. She saw my page on Facebook, hit me up, she said, I want to try some of this. She got a jar of this. And after 26 days, she sent me a message saying, Mr. Johnson, I think now it's safe to say that for the first time in 20 years, I've not had a single migraine. And now she's been migraine free for 10 months. 10 months. And her and her whole family uses this. See, what she was missing from her diet was some minerals that was found in Cmos. And it was causing her migraines. Migraines for 20 years of her life. Right? So when you start to replace or replenish stuff inside your body starts to heal itself. Right? There's nothing you can do to heal your body, but there's things you can take so your body can heal itself. So if you're suffering from anything right now, it's most likely you're missing some minerals inside your body. Right? More so than vitamins, because it's the minerals that allow your body to use the vitamin. It's the minerals that help the vitamins work in the body in the first place. So whatever the case is, right? It comes down to minerals, because minerals are electrolytes. And electrolytes are used by your nervous system. Your nervous system is electrical. So by taking minerals, making sure your body has enough minerals, you give your body electrolytes, something to work with, right? So when I stopped eating meat, right? I'm not here to make it, say, hey, go vegan, everybody go vegan. But I'm just going to share my story. When I stopped eating meat and I started eating more raw foods like fruits and vegetables and seeds, right? Uncooked foods, I noticed in about 2 weeks, the pains I had in my ankles went away, right? There's some surgeries I should have had years ago, never had surgery, But because God has changed my diet to vegan, those surgeries I probably would have gotten or needed back then, after about 2 months, maybe a little bit faster than that, those areas of my body, like my elbow, actually started to heal itself, which is amazing. But it came down because I was now eating foods that had several important things. One, they had oxygen, which I've talked quite a bit about this on my page. The power of oxygen. 2, they had water. 3, they had the other nutrients, electrolytes that I needed. And they had the vitamins and the amino acids. But the most important nutrient that they had was oxygen. Oxygen is the number one nutrient that your body needs. Once your body has oxygen, when your blood has enough oxygen running through it, you can reverse kidney disease, right? That's a fact. I've already done it with my cousin, done it with several people. When your blood has enough oxygen in it, you can kill cancer. That's a fact. I've done that with several people also, right? So oxygen is the number one nutrient your body needs. And here's something. When you're eating cooked foods, right? Doesn't matter whether it's meat or dairy products. Doesn't matter even if it's vegan foods, right? If a food is cooked, you deprive that food of oxygen. Yes, you're getting other minerals. Yes, you're getting other nutrients, but you're depriving it of the most important nutrient of all. That's oxygen. Without oxygen, you won't be around too long. So when you're consuming foods, that's when people say, "Wow, you know, this lady got beautiful skin. Kenneth's skin is glowing. Man, what are you doing? You wearing, you know, what's going on?" Oxygen, right? Like people who do a lot of green smoothies, right? They got some of the most beautiful skin. Skin is like naturally glowing, right? It's because the foods they're consuming have a lot of oxygen. They have a lot of water. So when they drink that smoothie, their body absorbs the oxygen straight to the bloodstream. Plus you got the other nutrients in there also, right? You got the nutrients from the greens, from the fruit, the water, which hydrates the body. So now the skin just starts to glow naturally. They look younger, they look healthier, they're vibrant, they have a natural body weight, and they're healthy and just look great, right? That's because of the oxygen and the water that's in the foods. When you eat a lot of meats, well, meat doesn't have any fiber, right? So you got constipation issues, take a long time to go to the bathroom, you're eating too much meat. It doesn't have any fiber, and it takes up to 24 to 48 hours, 2 days to digest meats, right? That's why you eat meat for dinner. You wake up the next day, you still feel bloated, right? You feel sluggish because that meat still hasn't digested in your body. And then you have breakfast and put more meat on top of that. Then you have lunch and put more stuff on top of that. It's like a merry-go-round. It's a never-ending cycle. And it compounds what you're feeling right now. It leads to weight gain, leads to all types of chronic illnesses and diseases, leads to cancer, leads to high blood pressure, diabetes, you name it, across the board. Everything you don't want to have, this is what it leads to. Right? So when you start to cut back on some of those things and start adding raw foods, right? Have a salad, have a fruit bowl, right? Do a smoothie, do some juicing every now and then. That clears the pipe, so to speak. It clears out everything, and then you start, maybe for a breakfast you have a smoothie. Maybe for dinner you have a smoothie, right? Have at least one smoothie a day, right? And it everything starts to reverse inside the body, right? So what we do, again, we take this on a daily basis. This is powerful. Let me tell you what it does. It alleviates migraines. It stabilizes insulin levels. It lowers blood pressure. It gets rid of constipation. It stops psoriasis. We had lady had psoriasis in 7 days. It cleared it up, the breakout, right? Inflammation, which is big, which is huge, which is the underlying cause to disease, period, right? It gets rid of inflammation, right? So pretty much everything across the board. Libido issues. Men, if you cannot, we're all adults here, you can't get it up in the bedroom, this alleviates libido issues, right? It's nicknamed, and if I got any Jamaican people or Caribbean people on here, this is nicknamed the Viagra of the sea, right? That's what it's called. It's known as the Viagra of the sea. No pills needed. Just take some Cmos Gel, and it take care of that. You become the bedroom bully, so to speak. So it works for men and women. That's how powerful it is. And the reason why it does that because it replenishes into your body what you've been missing, what's depleted, right? You got poor circulation, this improves your circulation, right? You're feeling stressed a lot, and stress depletes your body of a lot of nutrients also, a lot of oxygen, a lot of minerals. This helps alleviate stress. You got sleep issues. No, we got people taking this and say, wow, I slept like a rock. First night after taking it, right? So it helps alleviate stress, helps you feel better, helps you look better, aids in weight loss, gives you antiviral protection, right? Protects you from viruses. It's got vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin C. All the vitamins are inside the Cmos, right? And then the other nutrients that your body's missing. And then it has oxygen, because this is a real plant, right? It's a real plant that's packed with water and oxygen. So when you're taking this on a daily basis, you're also taking oxygen in addition to everything else you're eating, right? Right? And it helps your thyroid issues, right? So we're not saying eat the whole jar. Eat the whole jar, it's going to mess your thyroid up. But by taking it a little bit at a time, maybe once a day, right? If you got any thyroid issues, it's going to help your thyroid also. So it's a lot of things. This thing is very, very powerful. Anemia, right? Helps create red blood cells. It's across the board. So that's part of the thing you want to start doing. Just start eating differently, cutting out certain foods. Because here's the fact. If you go to the doctor, most times the doctor's going to put you on medication, right? And they're going to put you on the medication, and that medication is going to most likely cause something else to happen inside the body. Then you're going to go back to the doctor, they're going to put you on more medication, right? Before you realize you started with 1 pill, now you're on 5 pills. Or you might be on 5 pills, now you're on 7 pills, right? And you're wondering, when is this all going to stop? When is this all going to be over? But as long as you're taking these medications, right, unless something changes, unless you change something in your diet, it's not ever going to be over, right? If anything, it will only increase, or they'll switch it out and put you on another medication, and now you're constipated, you can't go to the bathroom and boo-boo, right? Or your energy is just sapped and drained, right? Or you're feeling sick and nauseous, right? Or something's happening inside the body because now all these medications, you're almost like a guinea pig, right? This ain't work, let's use this. That's not working, let's use this. When it all comes down to what you're eating, right? Major impact. That's a major thing. It comes down to what you're eating. When you change the foods you're eating, and most times when you're on medication, you're eating the same stuff. So think about this for a second. You're eating foods that are already causing the complication in the first place. It's causing inflammation inside your body, right? Then you go to the doctor, they give you medication that causes more inflammation inside your body. So now you got two things working against you. The foods you're eating, which is causing inflammation, the medications you're taking, which is causing inflammation. Now you're all full of inflammation throughout your whole body, and your body's breaking down, and nothing seems to be helping or working. When it's real simple, it comes down to what you're eating, right? So food is just simply medicine that's designed, that's put here, one, to give us energy, to keep us alive, but also help our bodies have what it needs to heal itself, to keep itself healthy and fit and vibrant. That's what it comes down to. So winter's coming, right? It's here pretty much. It's already here. It's here. And right now, as the seasons change, the foods we tend to eat start to change. So you want to also cleanse and detox your body, right? Purge your system, right? Thanksgiving is coming. You want to purge that system. So one of the things you want to do right now is do a cleanse and detox, a full cleanse and detox, and get rid of all that intestinal sludge outside of your body, right? Just by doing that by itself, you can drop weight. You might drop 10, 15, 20 pounds, right? But you're also going to feel better. You're going to sleep better. You're going to have less chronic aches and pains, less migraines, right? More mobility, right? And better mental focus. Because now you purge your body of all those toxins. And you'll be surprised at how much sludge you have inside your colon, how much sludge you have inside your intestines. And by doing a thorough cleanse, right, you go to the bathroom, like, oh my God, that came out of me? Gee, what the heck was that? Right? And sometimes you might even see some parasites in there because the foods you're eating, right? If it's caked up, your digestive system you're not going to the bathroom on a daily basis, right? You might be eating 3 times a day, but you're not going to the bathroom 3 times a day. You might go to the bathroom once a day or once every other day and think that that's normal. That's not normal, right? When you're putting something in, something should be coming out. At some time during that day, something should be coming out. So if you're putting a lot of stuff in and something's coming out once a day, all right, you backed up. If you're putting something in and you're going to the bathroom every other day, you're backed up, right? And this is the cause of a lot of migraines, chronic aches and pains in the joints, because your body's not purging itself. It's not getting rid of all that sludge, all that gunk, right? But you're constantly putting something into it. And even if you're not eating a lot, let's say, well, you eat once a day. Eat once a day, might be drinking coffee or something of that nature. Right now, your body is holding on to calories because it thinks that you're dying. It's starving, so it holds on to calories. Oh, we got to hold on to this because she or he ain't putting nothing into us, so we got to hold on to what we got. We don't want to lose it. So now your metabolism slows down dramatically, right? And that affects your entire body also because you're not putting anything in. And when you do put something in, you're not putting the best stuff in, putting the wrong stuff in that causes more problems, right? So it comes down to education, knowing what to eat, what's good for the body, what's healthy, what's not good for the body, right? And once you start to purge yourself, cleanse yourself, you kind of train your body, what's the right stuff and what's the bad stuff. Once you do a cleansing, right, and you let's say, for example, you do a deep cleanse. Let's say you do a 10-day cleanse called the master cleanse. That's one type of cleanse, right? And you purge your system. And let's say before you did the cleanse, you go to the Chinese store, Chinese restaurant every so often and buy some chicken wings and fries, right? And you love those chicken wings and fries. Man, they got the best greasy food in the world over there. I used to love it years ago myself, right? I lived in New York. I used to tear that stuff up. But let's say you did a cleanse, right? And you go back and try to have those fries and that chicken wings again. Something amazing happens. From the minute you put that stuff in your mouth and chew it up and swallow it, you got to throw up. Or you got to go to the bathroom because now you got diarrhea. Like, oh my God, what the heck just happened? Why am I feeling like this? Because now your body has been purged of those toxins, right? It's been made clean. And now when you put this stuff back into your system, it's able to recognize what food is and what food isn't. And so by you throwing up or having diarrhea, your body's looking for a way to quickly get that stuff out of it because that's poisonous. It's able to recognize what the real thing is and what the fake stuff is. That's why people who they start to go vegan after about a week, right? I think, Jennifer's on here. Jennifer can give you a testimony. I think after the first, hey Jennifer, I'm going to talk about you right now. I remember the first week Jennifer went vegan, right? She'd been used to eating meats. She told me her sister was making put something in the microwave, and she said the smell of it made her feel sick, made her feel nauseous. She said it made her feel so sick. Now Jennifer had been eating meat all along before. Before this, she had no problem. There was no issue feeling sick. But when she started going vegan, that first 7 days, I think it was the first 7 days, if I'm right, she said a change happened inside of her body. The same food she was eating before, now the smell of it made her feel sick, felt nauseous. And now she's been vegan for about 3 years, maybe longer than that. And her life has turned around forever, right? She had a problem with smelling. She wasn't able to smell for like 13 years. And she shared a story before. I'm just sharing it right now. She said she had polyps, had surgery done, had all these polyps taken out of her nose, wasn't able to smell even after the surgery. But when she went vegan, I don't know how much time went by, but now she got a sense of smell back. Her whole body just changed. Her hair got fuller, her skin changed. She dropped 27 pounds in 30 days. She dropped 14 pounds in 14 days. She says one of the best decisions she's ever made, right? So that's the power of putting the right stuff inside your body and putting the wrong stuff inside your body, right? She says it's all true, right? So the power of foods is transformational. So when you start putting the right foods in your body, a lot of these medical issues that you're taking medications for right now will go away, right? And sometimes it only takes about 30 days. 30 days, you have a tremendous transformation, right? Let me share this with you. I've had 4 people had cancer, right? And I've talked about this before in the past. One gentleman named is Chris Aquino. I talk about him quite a bit because that's one of the most powerful testimonies I've ever had. Chris Aquino was 37 years young at the time. And he had a 3-year-old boy, right? Had a son who's 3 years old. He went to a doctor. The doctor found something that wasn't right. I'm going to kind of make this story short. But they found something that wasn't right. They ran blood tests. And they told him he had something called polycythemia. Now, polycythemia is blood cancer. It's blood cancer. And the next level up from that is leukemia, which is bone cancer. So pretty much, he got the opinion from his first doctor. His doctor told him there's nothing else he can do for him. Now, those are some of the most scariest words you ever want to hear, especially when you just find out you got cancer. And the doctor tells you there's nothing else that they can do for you. So he wanted a second opinion. He went to a second doctor and was told exactly the same thing. There's nothing he can do for him. At that point, they suggested that he go somewhere up north. They said they got the best cancer treatments, the best cancer facility in the country. Chris said when he heard that, he said all he heard was blah, 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 blah. You know, he said he thought he was going to die. And he started thinking about his son. Oh, God, you got a 3-year-old boy. He's going to die. He ran across my page. He said, Mr. Johnson, somehow your page, I ran across your page, and he watched the videos I taught. He listened to me talking about the power of food and how it's transformational. He said, I think you can help me. So I said, Chris, when's your next doctor's appointment? He said, 9 months from now. I said, listen, if you do everything I tell you to do, by the time you see your doctor again, you're going to have a different test, a different diagnosis, right? So Chris thought he was going to die. So he was all in. I changed the water he had to drink. I changed the food he had to eat, right? We did certain types of exercises. We did certain types of breathing exercises. He did it every single day. Now, making a long story short, nine months had passed, right? At one point, we lost contact, but he continued to do what I've told him he had to do. He sent me a text message. He said, hello, Mr. Johnson. Remember back then when I first told you the diagnosis was and we started doing the program? I said, yes. He said he went back to the doctor. They ran all the tests, and all the tests came back normal. He said the only thing that was a little bit high was his cholesterol. And he told the doctor, he's Mexican. Chris is Mexican, by the way. The doctor said, you know what, cut down on the enchiladas and the cholesterol will drop. But he said everything else came back normal. They couldn't find cancer anywhere in his body. Not into remission. It didn't go into remission. They couldn't find it anywhere in his body. Chris had been healed by the power of food. That's how powerful it is. And there's been 3 other people I've done exactly the same thing with. Two guys in the 60s, and another person, gotta remember right now. 2 was in their 60s. This was a while ago. But I know 2 was in their 60s. Chris was 37. There's another person. I'm thinking of it right now. It'll come to me soon. But the power of food is so transformational. He followed the program. Body reversed cancer in his body. There's another gentleman. He worked for the government, right? He worked for the federal government, so I wasn't able to share his name, share his information on Facebook publicly. But he had prostate cancer. He said, Mr. Johnson, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do it. Because I trained his wife. While his wife was a customer of mine, a client of mine, I trained her for several years. She told him about me. He contacted me and said, listen, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do it. Because he had prostate cancer and he thought he was going to die. He was in his 60s. Changed his water, changed his food, right? He did it religiously. We kept accurate records. In 3 months, his numbers turned around. Reverse prostate cancer in his body. He was in his 60s. And this happened for 2 other people. The power of food. So the body will become, when you disconnect from the natural, when you disconnect from the earth, that's when sickness happens. So the plants, the natural herbs, the roots, the fruit, the vegetable, the seeds, all these things were put here for our bodies. This is where science and religion agrees, right? Some people don't believe in God. They believe in science, right? But here's one thing that science and religion agrees on. The Bible agrees on. I'm going to share this with you, right? The Bible says that in the beginning, the very man's first diet, original diet, were herbs, were fruit, were plants, right? That's in Genesis 1st chapter, 29th verse, right? You can pull that up on the internet and look at it and read exactly what it says. But man's original diet were plants, right? Now, science says there was a study called the China study. The China study has been one of the most longest, extensive studies of how illnesses and food are correlated, right? The power of food, how that's tied into illness. And what they found was they did a study based on red meats. And they found that most countries that consumed high amounts of red meats had the most illnesses and diseases. And countries that consumed the more plant foods had lower illnesses and diseases, right? And it's been shown that the best diet for mankind is a plant-based diet. The Bible says the original diet were plants. Science says the overall best diet was the plant-based diets, right? That's where they agree. So whether you believe in the Bible or not, it's in the science. And I'm a walking, living testimony myself because I had very bad allergies growing up as a child. I used to get headaches as a child. I thought it was natural. I thought it was normal. My parents thought it was normal until God changed my diet to vegan. And now all the allergies I suffered with, the headaches I suffered with, all the pains I started feeling in my ankles, all that stuff just went away in less than 3 months. And for over 10 years now, this has been my lifestyle. No sicknesses, no illnesses, no diseases, no medication, no anything, right? No colds. Don't even catch colds, right? Things that seem to be common to everybody else in the wintertime, right? No colds uncommon. No one in my family gets sick because this is our lifestyle. So we make sure we have more than enough of what our bodies need to stay healthy, to stay fit, right? So when you're missing something out of your diet, you open up the door to illness and disease, to colds, to migraines, to constipation, to allergies, right? Those allergies you have that you think you're going to have for the rest of your life, those allergies to watermelon, allergies to kiwi, allergies to other types of foods, right? Even if you've got allergies to seafood, right? It's all caused by what you're consuming in your diet every single day, right? You're consuming this, most likely a dairy product, dairy, right? Cheese, ice cream, yogurt, all this stuff, right? Even coffee, right? These foods are making your body acidic, very acidic. And it's making the pH of your blood is acidic, where it should be alkaline, right? When there's low levels of oxygen in your blood, then your blood becomes slightly acidic. And now you become open game to everything you can think of. Right? That's the power of it. People say, well, you can't change the alkalinity you can't change the pH of your blood. That's impossible. Well, that's been proven untrue by science. There are ways to change and raise the pH of your blood, right? And you can do it in as fast as 15 minutes. I've done it with people. That's how I've been able to help people with cancer, reverse cancer in their bodies at a very fast time by helping them change the pH of their blood and raise it from an acidic state to an alkaline state. It can be done. It's possible. It's in the power of food and also in the power of breathing, of oxygen. It all comes down to oxygen and then electricity. The two most important things, the two only things that keeps our bodies alive. Think about this for a second, right? I like using this as an example because it gets people to think. I want you to think about this for a second. If a person is unconscious, right, at the scene, and you call the ambulance comes over, they're unconscious, right, they're unresponsive, what's two of the first things they do to try to revive that person? 1, oxygen. 2, clear, electricity. They got oxygen and electricity to jump the heart, and oxygen to get that flow, get it start flowing again, right? That's the 2 most important things they do to revive a person that's unconscious. And that's exactly what you need to heal your body. When your cells are not getting enough oxygen, right? Now you're breathing every single day. But there's different types of breathing. There's called chest breathing, right? And there's stomach breathing, right? The people who breathe more in a more relaxed state breathe from their stomach. People who are stressed a lot breathe. They have that tight breathing, breathe from the chest, right? So you ask. There's a saying in Eastern medicine where a person who has that chest tight breathing, right? They don't live too long because they're up a lot of stress. But when you learn to breathe from the bottom, from the stomach all the way up, you breathe in a more relaxed state. Your body's able to heal itself. You're less stressed, and everything starts to work a lot better. But oxygen, right? And there's a lot of ways to get oxygen. And one of the best ways, the most ways, is from eating fruit, which I have over here. Eating fruit. So we keep a bowl of fruit over here. We got some kiwi, got some Bosch pears, and got some Bartlett pears. This is almost bad. I never eat this one. But these, we got fruit. Now, fruit, it seems like such a simple thing. Well, fruit, apples, oranges, pears, grapes, just eat that stuff every single day. But these fruits are powerfully packed medicinal foods. You start eating fruit, you'll be surprised how powerful it impacts your health, right? For one, fruit has about 80%, depending on what you get, 70 to almost 100% of water, right? So if you don't like drinking water, eat more fruit because it's packed with water. You can just eat your water, right? It also has fiber, something that meat doesn't have. That's why you have constipation issues. That's why you have digestive issues, because you're eating too much meat, too much animal byproducts, and you're not able to go to the bathroom like you should be. Fruit has fiber, right? Helps keep your stool the way it should be. Keeps you regular, right? Plus it has other things like different types of minerals and nutrients and things of that nature. But every fruit has a purpose, right? Pears, for example, they taste good. They have a lot of water. Kiwi tastes good. If you like kiwis, have a lot of water. But let me talk about the kiwi for a second. Kiwi, right? If a person has cancer, cancer destroys cellular DNA. It destroys DNA cells. Cancer does, right? Kiwi, and I've shared this before, one kiwi a day has been proven by science to repair and protect DNA cells. This little thing right here protects and repairs damaged DNA cells. So if a person has cancer, they should be eating this on a daily basis. This little thing right here, depending on where you go, is like 33 cents, depending on what state you're in. This thing, right, kiwi. Think about that, right? People are paying hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a month, right, for drugs that ain't working. And giving them side effects, making them sick. But you can just buy some kiwi, eat one kiwi a day, and repair your damaged DNA cells and protect the ones you already have for 33 cents. That's powerful. Pears, right? Plus it has fiber and everything, potassium, everything is good, right? Potassium is an electrolyte, good for the heart. Pears do exactly the same thing. They don't repair DNA cells, but pears have also been studied and talked about for its power for anti-cancer properties. That's just one benefit. So we make sure we consume this every single day, or as often as possible, right? I might make a juice, or we just eat it raw, right? But these are some of the most powerful things. Just these pears and kiwis, some of the most powerful things. You buy all three of these together, it might cost you a little bit over, $1, if that much, and opposed to you paying $300 and something. $400 something, $1,000 for a pill that's causing you more issues. The power are in the foods. This is made for our bodies. This is what we need to heal our bodies. This was put here for us naturally. Genesis 1st chapter 29th verse. Right? God said, every green herb that has seeds and a tree that has fruit that bears seeds of itself, for you it shall be meat. This is our meat. This is our original meat right here. This is the meat we're supposed to be eating right here. Fruits. Fruits and vegetables and plants of that nature. This is the meat. The original meat was this. It's been proven by science that the best diet for mankind is a plant-based diet made from plants. That has been the only diet to be proven to reverse and stop the top 15 things that affect the human body. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, right? Lupus, autoimmune diseases, fruit and vegetables. So I thank God I got away from, I thank God he changed my diet to this, because until I started eating fruits and vegetables and just being vegan altogether, I was suffering. I was waking up in pain in my ankles every single day, and it started a little less than 10 years ago. No, actually, I'm sorry, not less. It started over 10 years ago. Looking back, I remember being in the summertime. I saw a video, but I kept waking up, wondering, okay, why is my ankles hurting all the time? Why is my ankles hurting? They would hurt in the morning, then right around afternoon, it would stop hurting. And then the next day, it would start back up the same thing. It would hurt in the morning, afternoon, it would stop hurting, right? So this became an everyday thing, but it stuck out to me because I'm like, why am I waking up in pain? Why are my ankles hurting? I'm Mr. Fitness, right? What's going on? And then God showed me it was the foods that I was eating, the ice cream, right? I love butter pecan ice cream. That was the hardest thing to give up. The chicken wings from the Chinese man, right? Chicken wings and all that other stuff, right? These are all the things I was eating, the meats, period. And then when he took that stuff out of my diet, my body healed itself. And then I was able to show other people I do exactly the same thing. 30 days, knocked it right out. Allergies going away. So it comes down to this. Yes, Jennifer. Jennifer says, my Lord, that's a blessing. Dairy, yes. Dairy, let me share this with you. Dairy has been tied in, especially to men. It's one of the leading factors to causing prostate cancer in men. Right? There was a study done across 42 countries. I want you to hear this. There's a study done across 42 countries, a major study done across 42 countries, where they found that dairy, consumption by dairy, this is just for men by itself, was a leading contributor closely tied to prostate cancer. Think about that. My father, right, who died over a year ago, he developed prostate cancer years ago. And I know he drank a lot of milk. He drank a lot of milk, ate a lot of meat and stuff. And I worked with him back then, said, Pop, you got to cut down on this stuff. And he did. His blood work started to change, right? The doctor started asking him, what are you doing? What did you do? Because his blood work changed. Because he started doing other things. I was working with him, doing other things. And the doctor saw a difference in his blood work. But Pop kept, unfortunately, kept eating. And the foods that he kept eating impacted his health. And it led to other cancers. The cancer came back. And for those who watched it live, my father died July 6th last year. So it's been over a year now since he's been dead. And he died from bone cancer. So by the time I went to help him, it was pretty much too late because we didn't even know he had cancer at the time. But anyway, these are some of those, not just this, but this is what I have available. We had grapes last night, grapes, pears, kiwi, and I think that's all we had last night. But we're going to have some more stuff today. So these are some of the most powerful things you can eat. Gotta hurry and eat this. This is about to go bad. These are some of the most powerful things you can eat. You want to start consuming on a daily basis, right? Fruits and vegetables. And like I said, if you don't like drinking water, eat some fruit. You can start eating your water. And when you're eating your water, you're also getting fiber, which is going to keep you full. And it's going to start making you regular, right? You're going to start in the bathroom on a regular basis. Your stool's going to start turning around, right? And if you go to the bathroom, now here's one way to tell if you're constipated. If you're going to the bathroom to do number 2, so to speak, right? From the second you sit down, if it takes you 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes to finish doing your duty, right? You're constipated. It should take about 30 seconds to 90 seconds, and you should be done. That's how fast it should just come right out. It shouldn't be forceful or you having to push it out. If it's forced, you got to push out, you're constipated, right? If it takes you longer than 2 minutes, right? And I'm being pretty modest, but 30 to 60 seconds, 90 seconds tops, takes you longer than that, you're constipated. I want you to think about that. That means, one, you're not drinking enough water, or not consuming enough foods that have water, like fruits and vegetables. They have a lot of water, right? And you're not having enough fiber in your diet. So these are some telltale signs of you may be constipated. Unless you have another medical issue like diverticulitis, right? Or irritable bowel syndrome, or one of those things in general, you want to start adding more fruits to your diet. And if you don't like eating fruits, certain fruits, have a smoothie, right? Have a smoothie or start juicing. There's more than one way to do this. And that will start to turn your body around. Also, movement is very important. If you have a sedentary lifestyle and you're doing very little movement, you might be constipated, as well as a lot of other issues. But if you move, also go for a walk every single day, right? Go for a jog. Just do some light exercise. That also helps move your bowels, helps keeps you regular on a regular basis, right? So everything plays a part. That's why exercise is so important. But having a good diet, it's not enough. You can have I got a good diet, Kenneth. I eat clean. I'm eating the healthy food, more fruits and vegetables. That's great, but it's not enough. Because your body, your bones can still become weaker. Your muscles can still become weaker, right? And if your bones are weak, that means they're becoming more fragile. If your muscles are weak, that means you're lacking strength. So everything plays a part. Your diet is the fuel that allows your body to keep itself strong by doing exercises. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. That's just a fact. I don't care you can be raw, vegan, eating the best foods in the world. You got to exercise. Do some type of exercise. Not meaning you have to go to the gym and exercise for 2 hours or 1 hour. No. Keep it very simple, right? I don't exercise longer than 30 minutes. Sometimes less than that, depending on what I'm doing. But whatever I do is going to be intense. They make it feel like I've been in the gym for 30 minutes or for an hour or something of that nature. You don't have to spend a lot of time exercising, right? I know a lot of people don't like to exercise, but exercise is truly necessary to keep your body strong, especially for women, right? Women, the bones become fragile and weak, right? If you've given birth to a child, once you reach the age of 30, over 30, your metabolism for a lot of women tends to slow down, right? Your bones become a lot brittle, more weaker because you're not exercising, not taking care of yourself physically. Your body starts to slow down quite a bit, right? You may not feel it right away. You may not experience it right away, but over a period of time, you start seeing telltale signs and your body's breaking down. Because if you don't use the body, right, the body was made to move, right? Look at little kids. Look at little children in the park, right? They're always running and playing. They're jumping. They're climbing, right? They're having a blast, having fun, running all over the place, right? Spending all this energy because their bodies were meant to do that. And they do that naturally. But as a person grows up, they forget all that. They stray away from that. They get away from the things they did as a child, right? The Bible says, when you grow up, you put childish things away, but you don't want to put away what keeps your body healthy. That's strong, right? That part of your child, that you being a kid, you want to continue to be active. Do something. Exercise, climb, run, walk, jog. Do something to keep your body fit because children stay fit by going to the park, by climbing up on things, right? And just doing that keeps them strong and healthy and fit. And adults have stopped doing that. And that's part of the issue right now. That's part of the problem. You've forgotten how to play. You've forgotten how to play. Play keeps you healthy, keeps you alive, keeps you vibrant, keeps you young and youthful. Right? Got to get back to that. And at the same time, eat some good foods. Eat more fruit and vegetables. Right? Drink some more water. Right? Do these things going to help your body stay healthy and strong. Right? So I'm always doing something personally. I'm out there 4 o'clock in the morning in the park. I'm running. Right? I'm doing pull-ups and doing something for 30 minutes. Right? I've committed myself, my lifestyle to doing this. Where I commit doing something every single day. Every single day. You have to do this. Right? If you don't do it, here's what's going to happen. This is the truth. I don't care who you are. If you don't move your body or do something, right? Whether it's cardiovascular, right? You can do cardio, but don't do a lot of cardio. Don't do 100% cardio. Because ladies, if you want to keep that figure, right? Keep those curves and that shape, you got to do some strength training. You got to, whether it's lifting weights or doing some type of strength training to keep those muscles tight, that body tone, right? So you still look nice and slim, and keep those curves. If you do a lot of cardio, you're going to lose the muscle, and then you're going to look flabby. Your arms going to be like turkey wings, right? You're going to have a lot of body fat starting to be stored inside your body because you're not burning it, right? You're not using it. So that's what happens to a lot of ladies. They do a lot of cardio. They do a lot of running. They do the treadmill, do the elliptical, right? And they lose a lot of lean muscle, and then they a little flabby, a little loose. Right? And wondering what's going on. I do this. I run every day. I run 5 miles. I do this. But they're not strength training. It's the strength training that keeps your curves intact. When you strength train, you keep that body. That's how you get the bang, bang body. Right? You do all just cardio, you're going to get a hang, hang body. Right? Just the opposite. So you got to do some type of physical strength training. Right? And again, you don't have to stay in the gym for an hour or 2 hours. You don't even have to leave your house, right? You can use your floor, use your chairs, use your bathtub, use whatever you have around you if you don't have any weights, and just do some type of physical exercises that's going to cause you to sweat a little bit, to breathe hard a little bit, right? To perspire, and maybe feel a little bit sore the next day, right? Or 2. That's how you know your body's changing. You're doing strength training exercises, and you're getting the results you want to get. You got to exercise. There's no way around that, right? I've had people say, Kenneth, I got a clean diet. I'm eating healthy, and they think that that's enough. That's not enough. Your bones still get weak. Your muscles still get weak. Your body still gets weak. You're still out of shape. You're eating good, but you're out of shape, right? Do something to keep your whole body healthy and strong, right? And that's going to give you a long-term, successful, healthy life. So those are just some tips I wanted to share with you, right? So again, if you're going through an issue, health issue, migraines, constipation, whatever the case is, you're missing something out of your diet. And you're not going to get it from the same things you've been eating every single day. It's just going to compound the effect, right? So if you want to become pain-free, if you want to get off of medication, right? If you want to live a healthy life, then you got to start adding some other things to it. You got to supplement the foods you're eating with vitamins, with minerals, number 1, right? Minerals are the most important things. Your bones are minerals, right? Your bones are made from minerals. So if your bones are starting to weaken, you're lacking some minerals. If your bones are starting to weaken, that also means you're not exercising. You're not doing what's called bone-bearing exercises. Weight-bearing exercises, right? So weight-bearing exercises keeps your bones strong, keeps your bones dense, right? Also builds your muscles also, and it keeps your joints, your ligaments, your tendons, everything in your body stays strong when you start to exercise, lifting weights or using your own body weight like I do. I use body weight. I don't go to the gym anymore. I stopped going to the gym since 2008 because I started with using body weight exercises like doing push-ups, right? Doing jumping jacks, right? Doing chair squats. Using my own body weight. These are the things I did to build my body up. And then I went to the gym in high school for a couple of years. In 2008, I stopped going to the gym altogether, and I just go to the park. I use my floor, I use my chairs, or whatever surroundings that I have to build up my body. Right? You don't need to lift weights, so don't let that be an excuse. Well, I couldn't get to the gym today. You don't need a gym. You don't need a gym. You just need space, air, and opportunity, and you can get a lot done and have a gym-like body, right? So you got to move your body, ladies. You got to exercise, right? Eating healthy, eating clean is not enough. It's not going to get it. It's not going to cut it. You can still have weak, brittle bones, right? You have to exercise some form, some fashion, at least 3 days a week, right? If you can do it 5 days a week, that's great. But at least 3 days a week. And you want it to be intense, right? They call it HIIT, high intensity interval training. What that does for the body, it keeps the heart strong, right? It's a quick blast of some type of exercise that's going to stimulate you in a short period of time, right? Then you take a rest break, recover, and you do it again, right? It's the intense exercises that causes fast transformation, right? If you think about this for a second, when kids go to the park, they don't jog. This might upset a few people. This might ruffle some feathers, but I want to tell you this, right? I'm making a point. Kids go to a park, they don't jog, right? And they don't run for 12 miles. They don't run for 17 miles. What they do short bursts of sprints, right? They're chasing each other, running around, and they're climbing up on stuff, right? And it's those short bursts, intensified bursts, that causes the most change inside a person's body. I want you to think about that, right? There's been people I've worked with say, Kenneth, I run 5 miles a day, or might run longer a day, right? But I'm flabby. They got a lot more flab. They stopped dropping weight. Their body stopped changing. But they jog 5 miles a day. What's going on? What's happening? And I tell them, you got to switch it up. You're doing 5 miles every single day. Your body's used to doing that 5 miles every single day. There's no adaptation. There's nothing forcing it to change, right? It's used to doing the same thing. So the growth, the change stops. You might drop a pound or two, maybe 5 pounds in the first couple of weeks, maybe 10 pounds, 20 pounds, and then it stops, right? And then your body starts to go backwards. The weight you was losing, you're still running the same length, the same distance, amount of time. Now you're getting even more flabbier, right? And you wonder, what the heck is going on? Because you're not doing anything that's intense to burn those calories, to build lean muscle, right? Because lean muscle keeps your metabolism fire. That's going to burn the body fat. So ladies, very important. It's lean muscle that keeps the fat off. The more lean muscle you have, the longer the fat's going to be burned or reduced, right? So you never really lose the fat. You just reduce the size of the fat cells, right? So if you have 150 fat cells in the body and it looks like this, when you start to strength train, it reduces. You still got 150 fat cells. It's just been reduced, right? So it's a myth thinking that you just lost all the body fat. It's just reduced, right? So there's no more storage. There's nothing else being stored in those fat cells that's causing it to expand. That's powerful right there. Now, so when you start to strength train, right? Or let's say you're running and then you add strength training in there, right? Something that's going to work the muscles, transformation starts to happen again, right? You push through that plateau. There's no longer a plateau. You've broken through and now you see some more results. Oh yes, now I'm getting more results. Because now you started adding strength training to that. Or you started doing sprints, right? Sprints. Sprints is like a form of strength training. Sprints is like a form of you going to the gym and doing squats, lifting heavy weights. You got weights on your back, right? Whether you're using free weights, right? Or the machines. When you sprint means running as fast as you can, right? For let's say 20 yards, 15 yards, 100 yards, right? When you go all out and you sprint, that's like high impact. Bam! High intensity interval training. And you stop, you catch your breath, you do it again. You burn a lot of calories doing that, right? Plus, you build up some nice, powerful legs. So ladies, if you want to get some nice, powerful legs, run, sprint. Don't jog. Jogging ain't going to cut it. You want to sprint as fast as you can. 10 yards, right? Count off 10 yards, right? Count off 15 yards. And just start from point A. Get over there as fast as you can. And then catch your breath. Walk back, catch your breath. And do it again like 3, 4, 5 times, right? And do that every other day. And you'll see your body weight. You start to lose weight. Your body fat will start to reduce. Your legs, your butt, right, will start to firm up a whole lot more. Even your stomach will start to firm up, right? Because now you're adding something different to it. And you're going to see the results very, very fast. And yes, your legs will be sore because you've been sprinting instead of jogging, right? And do that 3, 4 times. What, less than 30 minutes, less than 20 minutes, however long it takes you. You're done for the day with that. So you cut down your workout time. If you typically go to the gym for an hour, 2 hours, you cut out your workout time dramatically and optimize your results. See, I don't jog. I don't run 5 miles. I don't run 10 miles. I did that before in the past. I don't do that. I do sprints. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning in the park, grounding barefoot, and I do sprints. And I run a certain distance. Right, it might be 100 yards, the length of a football field, a little bit shy of a football field, and I go all out, sprint. Then I stop on the other end, catch my breath, and then I do it again. And I do 10 sprints at least 3 times a week, back to back, right? And that's it for my legs, for my running. And that burns a lot of calories. That keeps my abs nice and tight. That also supercharges my metabolism, right? And releases a natural growth hormone inside the body, HGH, right? And it causes my body to change. So for ladies, for you, I would suggest doing sprints for your legs and for your butt, right? If you're already working out, if you're doing squats, start adding sprints to that. And see the dynamics, the changes in your body. Okay, Brenda, I had the same thing. I'm glad you brought that up. I had a torn meniscus years ago, back in 2017, 2018. I was on the handball court, right? Playing handball with an 80-pound weight vest. 80-pound weight vest playing handball, and it was slippery, it was wet. And the manager came out there, right? Before he came out there, I was able to see the water on the court. He came out there and took, I don't know, there was a broom, whatever. He pushed it off, wiped it up. So now I wasn't able to see the wet spots. So I'm playing handball with one of my, Ryan, the person I was training at the time, and I slipped and my leg went the way it wasn't supposed to go. So ordinarily, the leg goes this way, it went the other way. And I literally almost snapped my leg in two. One of the most painful pains I ever felt in my life. I'm sure you can attest to this. It felt like someone took a razor blade and it was a slicing pain, right? Long story short, let me get back to this right quick. A raw plant-based diet. Had no surgery, wore no cast. True story. 7 days after that injury, I was back on the handball court at 70%. Wasn't at 100%, but 70% back on the handball court, able to play handball again. Because I healed my body using a raw vegan diet and doing something called trigger point therapy, which is a little bit different. And I share that in another video. But presently, you say you have a torn right meniscus. What can you substitute for leg activity? Okay. It's very simple things you can do. And one, I suggest, if you're not doing this already, you want to change your diet. Or just modify your diet as much as possible. Because what's going to happen is the foods you're eating plays a big part in healing that meniscus, healing that knee. Give me 1 second. The foods you're eating plays a big part in healing that knee. So you want to start doing smoothies, right? Start juicing. Because those foods have oxygen, which I'm talking about right now. Oxygen is going to help heal that part of the body, heal your whole body. But oxygen is going to, when you consume these foods, drink that juice, it's going to bring more nutrients to that part of the body. and it's going to help it heal a lot faster. So for right now, if you had an active lifestyle, right, of that nature, then I suggest just sitting back in a chair, right, and whatever leg it is. If you're on painkillers, makes a big difference also. You don't want to actively move it too much. So the leg that's not injured, do something called leg extensions. Like for example, sit in the chair and just do this. Right? Now here's what I want you to do. While you're lifting your leg up like this, you're going to contract the muscle in that leg, like you're doing a leg extension in the weight room. Right? Keep that muscle tight as you can and work that other muscle, that other leg. The one that has the injury, just do as much as you can with the range of motion you have, right? Not too much, do very little, but here's what you want to do. You want to heal that leg, right? You don't want to train it too much. You want the leg to heal. There's things you can do to help it heal faster. Now, this is what I've done, right? I'm sharing with you what I've done. Now, if you want to do this, you can do this, but I'm going to tell you to be very, very careful. It's not the typical way that you, a doctor would tell you to lay up and rest it and let it heal. And a lot of times, from my experience as a trainer, when you lay up, rest it, let it heal, sometimes it never heals back right? You always have some type of hiccup with it. I've seen that with my clients who've had rotator cuff injuries. They're messed up for life because they laid up and let it heal, right? Speaking from experience, I had rotator cuff injuries that I healed myself. So with the leg that has the meniscus injury, right? Now, here's what you want to do. And this is where people tend to say, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. But you want to increase the circulation to that part of the body. So if you can go online, right? There's an apparatus you can use called trigger point therapy. You can go online, do a Google, and they can ship it to you in the mail, or you can use your hands. But you want to kind of stimulate that area. In other words, make it hurt a little bit. This might sound a little funny, a little strange, but this is how you're going to help heal your injury. I've done it many times with myself. I've done videos about this. You want to make it hurt. Here's what I mean by that. Don't make it fully hurt, but you want to stimulate that part of the knee, right? While you're doing that, take deep breaths. You want to breathe. As you're breathing and stimulating that part of the body, you're bringing more oxygen to that part of the body. Almost like giving your leg a massage. You're massaging it. So when you massage it, you stimulate more circulation, more oxygen, and bring in more nutrients. So the pain, when it hurts, right? The pain is inflammation, right? The damage. But you want to gently massage it and breathe it for like a couple seconds and then stop. Right? Stop, let it recover. Let the pain go away. You might start to sweat a little bit, right? Because you're increasing your heart rate, increasing your pulse, increasing the circulation, and then do it again. Repeat the same process. Do that 3 or 4 times, then let it rest and relax, right? That's all you want to do for that knee, right? And then for the other leg, keep it strong from losing too much strength. Just do the leg extensions, right? Pick the leg up, tighten the muscle up, kick in and out, right? You're keeping that muscle strong, right? For this part, you're just gently massaging it, causing it to hurt a little bit. But breathe. That's important. Deep breaths, and do it for a couple seconds and stop. That's going to increase the circulation to that part of the body. It's going to bring more nutrients, more oxygen, and help that part of the body heal a lot faster. This is what I did with myself, right? I didn't sit still. I didn't lay up. My knee was in so much pain, I couldn't even sleep in the bed. I had to go outside in the car, right? In the driveway. And I sit the seat up, I put the seat up, and I sit up in the seat, and I had to go to sleep in the car. That's how bad my leg was hurting. Because I wouldn't take painkillers, right? I wouldn't take ibuprofen or no painkillers, but I healed it myself with raw nutrition, with breathing, and by bringing and making it hurt. I make it hurt, but I breathe, and then I stop, let it recover, then repeat the process. And in 7 days, true story, I wasn't able to walk after that first injury. When I got the injury, 7 days, I was walking and running again back on the handball court. 7 days, right? 7 days, but not 100%. I was about 70%. So that's the power of stimulation. Right, quick off topic, the same thing with my rotator cuff. I tore my rotator cuff in a martial art exhibition because I'm also a martial arts instructor. I tore my rotator cuff, right, and also severed a nerve, not pinched a nerve. I severed a nerve. I wasn't able to move my arm after the exhibition. I wasn't able to lift it up, right? It took me 7 months, but I rehabbed it myself because I said I'm not going to be a cripple. Because I trained people who had the same injury that I had, and they've been messed up for life, right? They're getting checks. Well, there it's called SSI, because they have that permanent injury from a torn rotator cuff. I rehabbed it myself. I made it hurt, right? I used bands, these different colored bands to make it hurt, and I breathe, and I relax, take a breath. When I was eventually able to move it a little bit, I lifted light dumbbells as much as I could to eventually start to move it, and I did that every single day. And in 6 or 7 months, my shoulder was fully healed, and this shoulder was stronger than this shoulder because I didn't let it sit and rest. Because sometimes you let it sit and rest, it never heals back right. You have to continue to heal it, help it heal along the way, right? You got to participate in your own survival. That's how you win. So I'm a walking testimony for healing my own body from injuries that I needed surgeries from. So that's what I suggest with the meniscus, right? It's not going to feel good, but I guarantee you it's going to help it heal a lot faster, right? And it goes against doctors' orders. Doctors say, hey, lay up, get some rest, let it heal. It takes a lot longer to heal that way. And sometimes when it does heal, it never heals back right. You always got a little hiccup with it. So I believe and I know how to heal. I've healed my own body, and I've helped other people heal their bodies. So that's a suggestion. I say you can do it if you want, but that's what I did for myself. And in 7 days, I was walking and running back on the handball court. I wasn't able to wear the weight vest. I wasn't going to do that. But I was able to move and keep moving at 70% capacity after 7 days. Going through that whole process. So that's what I did. And if you want to do that, you can test it out. But that's just what I did, right, for myself, and it healed my body. So I know what the meniscus feels like. I know what a torn UCL feels like. I know what a torn ligament in the finger feels like. And all those things I healed myself using pretty much the same techniques. And I needed surgery from the doctor. Torn ligament in my finger. Got to go see the hand surgeon. No surgery done. I said I'm going to heal this thing myself. And I used my own techniques, my own nutrition, and I healed every injury that I had in my body. So that's how you win. So with that said, I want to thank you all for watching. If you got any information, if you want to purchase the Cmos, right? That's the missing link. Purchase the Cmos Gel. Let me know. Comment below on this. If you want to get some flat tummy tea, cleanse and detox your system, we got that also, right? This is all natural herbs. There's no caffeine in it. This is a week's supply. You drink 8 ounces twice a day, and all you do is win. Jennifer's favorite, Jennifer thinks she's still watching. Jennifer is pineapple lemonade, right? That's one thing she started with also. Jennifer dropped 14 pounds in 14 days, 27 pounds in 30 days, and that's without exercise. So it's very, very powerful, right? It cleanses you out. And sometimes that's all you need, just a good cleaning out. And all these issues you have go away. So that's it. Again, thank you for watching. Any questions, inbox me, comment, let me know. And we'll keep you moving. So the President God of me, bless the President God of you. Keep winning. I will talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.